episode is sponsored by Anchor. It's the easiest way to make a podcast because, first of all, it's free. And all the tools you need to edit your podcast are right there in the app, so you can do it all on your phone or on your computer. Now, the cool thing that has been helpful to me is that Anchor will distribute your podcast for you to platforms like Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and many others. You can even make money from your podcast with no minimum listenership. So it's everything you need to make a podcast all in one place. Download the free Anchor app or go to anchor.fm to get started. Again, download the free Anchor app or go to anchor.fm to get started. What up, though? Welcome to Tamara to the Break of Dawn, the show where you'll literally ride my train of thought as I discuss the different types of challenges and struggles that we all can relate to. I'm your host, Tamara Dawn, and I want to thank you so much for tuning in today. Now, you already know the struggle could be way too real sometimes, so my hope is that these shows will challenge and inspire you as I basically share the areas that I'm trying to grow in. So let's get it. So new year, new thing or whatever, but I'm still that same OG. Hey, some of y'all don't even realize how I just blessed y'all life right now. So what I'm going to need y'all to do to get your whole entire life together is go ahead and Google Same Old G by Genuine, Ginuwine. It's a great song from, I think, the early 2000s, because I know some of y'all are young, and y'all might whoa, what was that? Y'all might not even understand what was just happening, but it's 2020, y'all. It is the year 2020, and it is a new year, but unfortunately, I still kind of have the same old struggle with sickness. So, once again, I'm going to need y'all to bear with me because I still want to record and get this stuff out of my head. So, it just is what it is. But at the same time, I feel like I'm struggling to catch my breath. I don't know if y'all can hear that. If you can, I don't know. I'm sorry, I guess, but it just is what it is. I don't know what's going on, but like I said, it's a new year. I mean, it's a new decade. Like, it's crazy. And for me, June 27th, holla at your girl, I will be 40. So it'll be a new decade for me personally. And you know, I'm going to go ahead and put my Cashapp out there. If y'all ever want to send me money, send it to the $sign or whatever. SendTam, Tam, Cash. Spelled like regular words, SendTam, Cash. You know, I'll remind y'all again around my birthday. Or PayPal. PayPal. I don't even remember what my PayPal is. But I'll make sure y'all have it before my birthday in case y'all want to be so kind as to bless me. But anywho, so, it's a new, excuse me, hold up. Excuse me. It's a new decade, and with it being the new year, though, I really, usually at the beginning of the year, and then my birthday, so that's like the beginning of the calendar year, and then the beginning of my actual year of life, I always reflect on kind of like, what do I not want to carry with me into this next year or this next year of life? And especially, I know when I get ready to turn 40, because I know I did it when I was about to turn 30. First, I was so devastated that I wasn't going to be in my 20s anymore. I remember like the night before my 30th birthday, I started bawling. And I was just like, I can't believe I'm not going to be in my 20s anymore. But then I started thinking like how much growth I had 27, 28, and 29. And I was just, then it kind of just shifted my mindset of, oh, wow, but look at all the amazing things that I won't carry. I mean, look at all the unhealthy things, I should say, that I won't carry with me into my 30s. So then it just kind of made me excited about turning 30. So I'm pretty sure that'll be something similar to what I'll be doing when I turn 40, because that's just, I don't know. That's just crazy. And people never believe that I'm 40 unless you like actually know me. Like people who don't know me and haven't known me forever. Oh, you don't even look like you have, I thought you had little kids. No, I have a 16, 17, and 20-year-old. Like, I'm grown out here. Grown in these streets. But, oh gosh. Okay, let me get focused, y'all. I am really reflecting on what I want to leave last year and what I want to leave definitely in my 30s and not carry with me into my 40s, because it's kind of too late to say I'm not going to do it in my 30s because I already did it. And the biggest thing that I want to get rid of is this whole thing of like getting caught up in what people think. And when I say that, let me kind of preface it though, because I do think in some ways that it is healthy to value the opinions of others, especially your close friends and families and people that you value to speak into your life. I definitely care about what my kids think about me. Like, I'll ask them, do you think I'm a good mom? Do you think I love you? Like, I'm always trying to grow to be a better mom to them, you know? And so I do think it is important at times to care about the opinions of others. But for me, where I feel like it's just kind of toxic is, for me, someone who is a believer, someone who claims to be someone whose identity is found in the Lord. That's what I'm saying my life is. This whole thing is about me. But if you relate to that, great. If not, I'm just telling you about my life. So, I am someone who, in my mind, believes that my identity comes from who God says I am. So I am loved, I am cherished, I am his daughter, I am an overcomer, fearfully and wonderfully made. He thinks good thoughts about me and all these great things that the Bible says. So, if my identity comes in that, I don't even know if that sentence made sense. But if I am saying that my identity is found, what is up with these? Sorry. Okay, I'll just take them off. Glasses. They're bothering my ear with these. My headphones died. So I'm actually using my son's. And I don't know, they're kind of hurting my ear, and then it's pushing my glasses against my head, and there's a lot going on today, as you can see, but this is my life sometimes, so welcome to it. But if my identity is supposed to be in that, then that means that, in theory, if someone says something that is contrary to who I know I am, or contrary to who God says I am, it shouldn't bother me, right? I shouldn't care. It should have no effect on my day. It should not make me sad. It should not piss me off. It shouldn't have no effect on me, right? Because my identity is found in the Lord. And I know that in my head, and I know that is what is supposed to be true, but a lot of times walking that out, man, it's it's a battle. And it's interesting because the opinions that kind of sometimes will mess me up the most are not the opinions of my family or loved ones or friends or whatever. It'll be like some random person who says something that's contrary to what I know how I am as a person, and it'll just like, man, I remember one time one of my participants that I work with, their significant other kind of like, the conversation wasn't even supposed to be with him first of all. But he tried to go, like, I don't know, he was just rude and trying to take over the conversation. And in the midst of all that, he called me a bottom feeder. Now, I don't even know really what that means. Somebody said I should Google it, but I decided I don't want to Google it because just the fact that he said something that obviously he was trying to come for me, even though I was trying to help them, but it's whatever. But even the fact that he just felt the need to say that in and of itself bothered me without even actually knowing what that means. I feel like I have an idea of what it means based on like fish and what I think I know about that. So like when he said that, I'm just kind of like, you know, I don't remember what I said. I think I said like, you know, to be honest, I don't like your tone, and because I had to keep it professional, but also still establish the boundary because I wasn't about to sit on the phone and just go back and forth with them anyway. When they obviously he wasn't trying to hear what I was trying to say, but I vented to our program manager because that's sometimes what I do when I have a rough day. And then I left, and I wish I could say that I just left that at work and it was fine, but I was like really bothered by that. And within that same time frame, multiple things happened where like somebody called me weird, and like how they said it, like I know I'm random and I know in real life I be doing just random stuff, and my kids know it more so than anyone because I'm the most comfortable around them, and so I just do me. But I wasn't even doing nothing like in that moment when they said it, and I was just kind of like, oh, okay, you know. And then something else happened where and I don't know why this bothers me, because this isn't even a negative thing. But I don't like when all people think is that I'm funny. I don't know why, and I think I said this before, and sidebar, why I a lot of times say I think I said this before is because I honestly don't remember what I said on each thing. I know I had a topic based on whatever the title was, but because it's unscripted and I'm just kind of, you know, talking and processing, I don't remember. So I think I said before that I don't like when people just only seem to think of me as funny, because I just feel like that's just such a small part of who I am. And furthermore, I don't even be trying to be funny. Like, I really don't really try to be funny. Like, one time somebody, my actually friend's husband, did stand-up comedy a couple of times as part of like this bucket list challenge that he's doing. And for 1 second I was like, oh, I could do that. You know, just kind of, I had never been to any sort of comedy thing before, which is weird because I love to laugh. And so, I don't know. I didn't do it though because I just didn't want to, I don't know. That's just not really who I try to be. It's just people laugh. And so the whole point of all this is somebody was thinking that this podcast was just going to be about comedy. And I don't know. I felt some type of way. And like I said, it's not even nothing negative. I wasn't mad at this person. It's not like that. But it's just the whole point of this is, okay, side note. There's a lot going on. And I'm just going to record, and I'm going to just let y'all in on what's going on right now. But for some reason, my eyes are itchy. They're itchy. And so I'm like struggling I'm in the studio struggling. Nah, but I'm struggling in my closet with my eyes itching. Hold on. Okay. This is so random, but I'm gonna just let y'all ride this train of thought with me, because this is life. This is what y'all gonna get. This is what y'all gonna get today. I'm really struggling, and I just want to get this recorded because this is like my fourth. So, other sidebar. Okay. So, it's not scripted. I just have a topic. A lot of times I'll have a starting point, and that's about it, and then we go. But sometimes, I don't know, my train of thought, I feel like will be whatever, like, I don't even know, I just won't. It's not that I don't like what I'm saying, but for some reason I'm like, nah, this ain't the one. And so then I start all over. And so this is like, I'm just trying to get this over and done with. And I have my own deadlines. It's not like anybody is controlling this. I don't even know why I'm telling y'all all this. But let's get back on track. It really bothers me when, all people see me as is funny. It really bothers me when people speak on things that I feel like it does, like, why are you even commenting on that? It doesn't affect your life in any way, shape, or form. And even if it's said with, good intentions, I don't know. Maybe something's wrong with me, but it really bothers me. And, okay. If y'all actually hear all this, that means I decided to air this despite the struggles. But maybe y'all just need to, get a glimpse of behind the scenes. Maybe we'll call this one behind the scenes, because this is I'm really struggling. But here's the thing. I guess we'll go here. So, this podcast, this is me. Like, this is a reflection of just who I am, how I think, what I feel, all that, right? So, like, this is probably the most vulnerable I've ever been with a large... I don't even know. Okay, that's a lie. I do know how many people listen because the analytics, but, like, anybody could listen to this. So I don't know who's listening. I guess that's a better way to say. And I'm a person who, I don't like public speaking, which a lot of y'all know I've done spoken word and all these things. So that probably sounds like, what? But here's the thing. Fun fact. Before any performance I've ever had, I physically get nauseous. It's that same physical nauseousness when I think about being vulnerable with someone. That same feeling comes of, like, I feel like I'm having a panic attack or whatever. And I will always have to pray my way through leading up. And then once I start, Somehow I get through it by the grace of God, and then, it's over. I don't necessarily like if you have conversation with me, I struggle with eye contact, especially, and it's something I'm trying to work on, because one time my little brother was telling my daughter, I think she was like about to prepare for a job interview or something. I don't even remember why he said it, but it stuck with me. He said, always look people in the eye because it makes you seem more confident or whatever, or something like that. And so, like, especially with job interviews and stuff, I really try to make eye contact, even though it's a struggle for me. And I don't like to be the center of attention, which sounds probably whatever, because I am goofy, but I really don't do that to be the center of attention. A lot of times I do it because I'm uncomfortable, and humor is kind of like my way to cope. So it's almost like when Summer Walker, Google her if you don't know who she is, but she's been very public about her, like, social anxiety, now that she's a celebrity. And it's like, the way people have, just because they don't understand it, just kind of gone in on her is just, it's really, really sad. And, yeah, what other random fun facts am I going to share about myself? I guess that's what this is going to be. Because I don't know. I guess this is just what it's going to be. So, yeah, I don't like the attention on me. And, like, when I go to parties or whatever, which I really don't, but when I do, I prefer to, like, have a one-on-one conversation with someone within the party rather than just be the center of attention. So I, like, get anxiety with hosting things, even though I like to host things because I like people. It's just such this weird dynamic. And I guess I'm sharing all this because it's always funny to me when people tell me I seem so confident or tell me I'm all these things, and I'm just like, no, I'm not. You know what I mean? Like, it is a or doing things, it takes work. This podcast is easy because even though I'm sharing vulnerable things about myself, I'm by myself. I'm looking at this pink blanket and this other whatever blankets these are that are around the microphone in my closet. My closet door is closed. My bedroom door is closed. You know what I mean? So I'm by myself. This is easy. But I applaud the people who lead conferences and, like, get up and for real speak in front of people. Pastors or, I don't know how I used to lead the workshops when I worked. I guess you could say it was kind of like as a teacher. I was teaching, and I don't even know how I did that because I used to have, like, anxiety attacks. I don't know, it's just crazy. And but back to the topic at hand. It's funny for me to talk about how much I struggle with what people think, but then I just shared all of these random facts about myself as if I don't care about what people think. But then it's the little things that bother me. And that's what I really, I don't know, want to leave behind. But it's interesting because the more I speak, because, like, I'm basically processing stuff when I'm talking to y'all. Well, really talking to myself, but I'm processing through whatever's bothering me. That's why it's random like that, because that's just how I am. And it's interesting because it's been super helpful with just, I don't know. So I've actually felt a little freer, just a little bit, to feel a little safer, just a little bit, being a little bit more vulnerable in real life. And it's funny because, as I think I said, it started with a work conference, not the podcast, but like me saying, man, I really want to work on that. And one of my coworkers that was in my group, she said she was gonna, kind of check on me to make sure how I'm doing with that. And I thought she was just, how people just be saying stuff. And then one day she asked me, and I was like, oh, no, you didn't. Like, oh, you was for real, for real. So this has been helpful with that. So how do I stop caring about what people think? Is it wrong to care about what people think? Let's go there, because maybe it's not. Maybe it's not a bad thing. Maybe it shows that I'm human. Maybe it shows me, because sometimes I like to think I don't need people. Okay, that's a lie. Sometimes, because I know I need people, but sometimes I like to make people think that I don't need people, not because I don't care, but because I never want to seem needy and clingy. I don't know why. Why do I care? Why does it matter if I am needy or clingy? Why is that viewed as such a bad thing? Because we weren't created to do life alone in any way, shape, or form. So, I don't know. I'm trying to think of a challenge to myself, but I don't know that I have one, because now I'm second guessing if being worried about what people think is a bad thing. So I don't know. I guess I'll just not have a challenge for that particular thing. But here is my challenge. Because as I said, this has been helpful to me, and like I ain't arrived nowhere. I'm not out here making big strides. I'm saying little itty bitty things that I know, a few months ago I wouldn't have necessarily done, just because it was scary. So I know that choosing to continue to try to not be, okay. Here's the challenge. So I lied, I do have a challenge. So, because I got to challenge myself. So if you are someone who you struggle with caring about what people think, like me, if you related to this, my challenge to us as we strive to grow together, which thank you for sticking with me if you're still listening to this, because I know this podcast was really weird, but I'm actually really proud to have gotten through it, and I am going to air this one because it's funny, I'm not struggling as much with breathing anymore, so maybe it was just a mental battle I had to overcome. I don't know, but it was a really weird episode recording it. But my challenge is act opposite of what you feel. Like, I was really, okay, let me give you an example. I didn't realize this about myself until something happened recently. I don't like, it's not like I want everyone to like me, because everyone's not going to like me. But I feel like I'm the kind of person that I don't bother nobody. I don't like intentionally try to be mean to anybody or disrespectful. I really try to treat people with kindness and respect. I can be petty, but my pettiness is more so humor. I'm not really just out here being disrespectful to people. And so if people don't like me, I feel some type of way about it. And then if I feel like you have a problem with me, and I don't know what it is, because sometimes you know how you could just sense vibes or whatever, or discernment, if you understand it in that way or whatever. So sometimes you could just feel, or energy, or however you look at it, you could just feel that it's off. And so when things like that happen, then I'll just kind of, have nothing to do with the person. I don't, but now I've been in situations lately where I kind of have to maybe deal with that person, even though, and then it's super uncomfortable, but I gotta walk in the opposite spirit, for lack of a better word, of what I feel. So if I feel like, oh, this is scary, it doesn't have to be, because just because somebody doesn't like me or has a problem with me or whatever, it doesn't mean they're necessarily going to put hands on me. That's a whole different thing. I'm not saying, we ain't even going to go there. But, that's their issue. And I just saw something. Hold on. Let me put my glasses back on. So I just saw this on Instagram. It said, somebody posted this. Well, duh. But anyways, it said, the version of me you created in your mind is not my responsibility. And I saw that when I took a break between trying to record. And it's like, here's the thing. What people, another way that's been said, is, your opinion of me is not my business. So basically, hold on again. Throat is dried in a mug, y'all. I'm sorry. Maybe I should have recorded something different, but oh well, it is what it is. That's not our concern. It's not our responsibility. Like, it's not my responsibility to try to make someone like me, or it's not my responsibility to necessarily try to make everything right. If I can, sure, because I like to be at peace and live at peace. But some people just, I have to be okay with the fact that they're just gonna be upset. And as long as their being upset isn't them like trying to like fight me or something wild like that, then it really doesn't matter. And so my challenge to myself is to not take responsibility of someone's opinion and make it, that's their opinion, that's their thought. It really doesn't matter. It really doesn't. But then on top of that, it's not my responsibility to try to change their mind. And so I think that might be partially where my problem stems from, is because I'm not a fixer, but I like to try to, okay, what's the issue? Let's get to it. Let's be healthy. Let's have healthy relationship dynamics. Not everybody cares about that, or not everybody sees certain things as unhealthy, or maybe it's not unhealthy, because really, let's go back to the person who called me a bottom feeder. I know that I was doing everything to try to help them. However, what I was trying to do isn't what they wanted to happen. They wanted it to go a different way. And so maybe in their mind, that wasn't helpful, and I was making things worse on them. And that's okay. It's not my responsibility to change their mind. It is my responsibility to do everything within my power that I know and treat people fairly and whatever. If he wants to feel whatever he wants to feel, it's not my responsibility to try to change that. And I think, when I think about it, a lot of times I try to make sure that, and you can probably tell, because I explain a lot, because I want to make sure you understand me. And I've been seeing this a lot on Facebook where, I don't know, something about, I used to try to explain myself, but then I stopped, but it's worded better than that. And I want to be understood, but sometimes we need to be okay with not being understood, because everybody really probably isn't supposed to understand us. And for me, the very few people who, and when I say very few, it's very few, there are very few people in my lifetime who have ever made me feel just like legit accepted. I'm talking not like people, how can I explain this? I'm not saying people have made me feel excluded or stuff like that. I'm saying people who have made, just kind of go along with who I am and what I'm doing, and they never question it, and they never question the unnecessary things. Like, sometimes you probably need to question me, but then there's sometimes where this is just who I am, and when people question it, it's like, why does it matter to you? So the people who never make me question, or who never question who I am, and they don't even realize, I don't know, I can't explain it, but there are very few people in my lifetime who've ever made me feel that way. And so, and that's okay. But it just makes me cherish those relationships even that much more than, because it's like this, I can't even explain it. I don't have words for it, and that's okay. If you know what I'm talking about. If you have somebody like that in your life. If you don't, I hope you one day find people like that in your life, because, it's a beautiful thing. So, that is where we're at. Did I finish the challenge? I think so. If not, let's try to recap. But I don't even remember what I said. Wait, hold on. Challenge. It's not our responsibility to try to change people's minds. And be at peace with that. Because that's what I'm going to try to do. So, that's all I got for y'all. I hope this is the last one that I record. I'm going to have to listen to it and see how all over the place this was. But if y'all do hear this one, thanks for sticking with me through all this. Until next time.